All right, so welcome to another video. This is from inside the car, obviously. I am just leaving the house and we're heading down to Carolina Motorsports Park in Kershaw, South Carolina. So I've never been there. It's roughly 2 hours 50 or so drive with current traffic at least. But yeah, so we're doing HPDE 2 at a new track. I drove it on the sim quite a bit, but that's only going to give me rough approximations. I feel like I have a pretty decent line through all spots. Maybe not having the best line through the carousel yet. Well, absolutely not having the best line through the carousel yet. But I think it's good enough to get on track and be safe. But anyways, car's loaded, car's prepped, car's in the best position that I can get it to be. I'll check in if there's something interesting or once I'm actually pulling into the track. All right, so almost in Carthage, North Carolina now, and just got some gas. Noticed that valve stem seal that I got replaced yesterday didn't really solve my issue. And then as I was pulling into Advance, just asked them who might be able to solve this today. Through a check engine code P0430, which is catalytic converter below efficiency. So it's gonna be a fun weekend. All right, so shop number one here in town. No dice. They don't have any availability to pull someone off to help out. Let's go to shop number two. All right, so this is now technically stop number 3, but second necessary stop. If you can see in the background in here, I'm having to put air in my front right tire again. This is the same wheel that I took to get the valve stem seal replaced yesterday. No fault to the shop, but it's still leaking. So right now I'm gonna fill it up to 32 PSI again and see how many minutes I can go till it drops back down to 25, which is my own comfort zone of when I want to pull off and add more air. Yay. Third time. Took about 10 minutes to go from 32 down to 25. First 2 PSI went actually pretty quickly, so that's not good. Grabbed the 11 mil deep well socket, gave the valve stem just a squoosh of a tightening. Maybe that helped, maybe that didn't. Either way, it's gonna be a long hour and a half. I have to go 10 minutes at a time. All right, so here we're at CMP. We're in the pit area. Just waiting for HPDE 2 to go out in about 30 minutes. So yeah, we'll see how things hold up. It's been an adventure getting here so far. So yeah, we'll see how things go. All right, so obviously we're in the car. Got about 8 minutes till DE2 goes out. So getting the car just idling, able to warm up, get a little bit of heat in it. And yeah, I can go ahead and start getting all the safety gear on and get ready. All right, so obviously I'm back home trying to put this video together. I noticed that I didn't say anything about session one. So session one, there were a couple people that went off at the very beginning. There was an S2000 that went off, and then there was a Mustang that went off midway through the session. But anyways, showed the one complete lap of like my best lap in session one. Nothing fast, nothing special, but it's just showing a baseline of kind of where I started at the end of session one. All right, so I just finished out the classroom session 2, which is gonna be our last classroom session of today. There's some things to share. So on that session, we went straight out onto green flag. So passing is now enabled, no warm-up lap, no caution lap, anything. So cool. Knew my tires were cold. Coming into turn 1 and 2, I was just staying in 4th gear. Tires are cold. I don't think my car will spin the tires at that speed in 4th gear. I was wrong, so had a correction on both sides. So corrected the slide, then had to overcorrect, and yeah, ended up going 4 wheels off on the slide. I think a guy behind me got video of it, but yeah, car seems fine still. So yeah, lesson learned there. Spend a little bit more time getting the tires up to temp. And second thing, there's a car who spun about midway through the session, and by the time he got back out on track, he was just going to make sure everything was fine with his car, so going slowly. Then he went into the pit, and then everyone followed him. So we had about 5-7 minutes left on our session, and the entire session saw everyone go into the pit like, oh shoot, did I miss the checkered flag? Oops, and let's just go into the pit. Everyone did. So we ended our session because no one saw a checkered flag, saw a person go into the pit, and everyone just followed him. So not great, but learning experience, and be a little bit more vigilant on, I didn't see a flag, I'm gonna keep going, as opposed to coming in and not having a flag yet. So if I break it down by cost per minute of driving on track for how much I've spent for this weekend. It's not a cheap mistake. Oh well. Anyways, we're coming into lunch now, so I'm gonna go ahead and make myself a couple sandwiches, and I've got a whole bunch of time until our next session. All right, so let's go ahead and get into session 3. I'm still gridding myself kind of somewhere in the middle. I know my car is faster, but I know the other drivers are faster in their cars, so let's just start somewhere in the middle and see what happens. Red flag, red flag, black flag. Session over, session over. All right, so end of that session, we did end up having a red flag drill. Basically, just say that there's something urgent that's going on the track, pull to the inside of the track, come to complete stop, so they can roll an emergency vehicle out to the track to see what needs to be addressed. Corner stations have red flags, and basically you see that, you stop. All right, so let's just go ahead and get into session 4. Session 4, the guy that ended up filming my oops in session 2, he actually got behind me, and we just kind of played with who was leading through the whole session. So I led, then I let him pass me, ended up filming him a little bit, and then near the end of the session, I ended up taking it back from him. Just I'm putting together more consistent laps, and I'm in a faster car, higher horsepower car. Anyways, it was a lot of fun, so let's go ahead and get into it now. right, so things got a little bit busy, and yeah, didn't record a lot of stuff. Anyways, so synopsis of day one. First session out, not really sure where I'm going. No idea on braking zones. Probably only got to about 50 or so % braking. Just wasn't pushing hard enough to do anything. Tires slipped a little bit, not too bad. Second session, knew that tires had slipped a little bit, and we ended up going out on a green flag. So meaning we don't have a whole lap to get tires and brakes up to temperature. I thought I was doing well just by putting it in fourth gear and just staying in fourth gear from turn 1 through turn 3. Well, I was wrong. That was not. So I spun the car a little bit, saved it, went up 4 wheels off, got back on pretty easily. No damage to the car, just ego. So anyways, went back to the pits, said, hey, tires are colder than I thought, went off. Yep, cool, no problem. Went back on. End of that session was premature. A different guy had spun and was coming back to the pits just to check his car over. Someone behind him saw, hey, someone's going to the pits. I'm gonna follow him into the pits. And then everyone else proceeded to do the same thing. No checkered flag, no sessions over, nothing, just following people into the pits. Session 3, pushed a little bit harder, found some consistency, cool. Nothing really of note there. Going into session 4, the last session of the day, I gridded up right in front of the guy who actually filmed my my little moment in session 2. He's got a fairly decently prepped E36 BMW. However, his prepped car has old tires. Anyways, I think we're probably about comparable skill, and cars are set up fairly equal. I mean, yeah, I have more power. He has better handling, whatever. But yeah, so we chased each other around. I gave him a point by, he gave it back to me, and we just had fun. Right after the session, I went over to his pit area and spent probably about 2 hours just chatting with him and some other people, just enjoying the time and regaling on stuff that we've done or whatever else.